Empowerment always begins from within. It's not something that is handed to you. It's not like someone is coming to you and letting you know, okay, here is your power. No, it's something that you are deciding to do, that you are choosing, and that you are creating. My name is Iris, and I'm a provider of hypnosis sessions. And I'd love to share my thoughts in regards to empowerment of the Black Sheep. So, how do we get back our power? Well, the very first thing is that we need to use our skills that we learned as the Black Sheep, which is to be good at observation within ourselves. We're so good at observing the outside and noticing when something is off and when we need to get out of a certain situation. But we really need to use the skill also to listen to our own thoughts, because as an adult, as someone who grew up as the Black Sheep in a family, you are so used to mistreat yourself. You are so used to down talk yourself. And you have these inner repetitions going on how you see yourself, judging yourself. And those are actually remnants from the past, how others treated you. And it's the seeds that someone planted. But they are growing. It's like the weeds that are taking over and now building your own perception about yourself. And you need to get rid of that. And when you see that, when you notice those thoughts in your mind, you best allow yourself to just pause for a moment and realize, well, where does it come from? Why do I feel like that about myself? Because the treatment we experience is usually like many layers wrapped around us and forming our identity, forming our perception. But it's not the true core that we are. And that's where you need to reconnect to. You need to reconnect to who you truly are, this innocent, beautiful part underneath all the slander, all the framing and making you feel bad about yourself. You need to rip that off and find out what is underneath, what's the core there, because all these judgments, they were lies. This might have been a projection someone was seeing in you, but it had nothing to do with you. You know it yourself. And especially as a child growing up within a family system, you know yourself, you were innocent as a child. And there was so much beauty and so much light and so much joy, and it got destroyed bit by bit, and you took on all those layers. So self-empowerment starts with stopping the cycle of mistreating yourself and judging yourself and the way you're perceiving yourself through the lens of others. So the next step, when you are noticing that all these phrases, all the ways you're looking at yourself are not your own, you need to get to know yourself, who you are. You need to meet this part underneath. You need to become friends with this part underneath and learning what's really true. What's true about this core underneath, about this authentic spark. And there's usually an urge for joy, an urge for living, an urge for exploring. And there's a will for life and experiencing beauty and kindness. And seeing this as your crucial core, as your crucial part, makes you also way more compassionate towards yourself, which is essential in the way how we are treating us. And in the end, also what we are allowing ourselves to do then. Because when you are compassionate towards yourself, when you feel kindness, you notice that you do deserve the same things others are also deserving. You do deserve to create your life in a way how you want to live it. And I'd like to share a story in regards to that. As a young woman, I had this dream of becoming an artist, but then a very close family member said something very insulting and very hurtful when I was in the process of training and wanting to become a better artist or draw better. And this insult, it crushed my will for still being creative. It crushed my dreams. I allowed this to fully and completely destroy where I wanted to go, because I felt worthless when I was on that path due to the judgment of someone else. And that's what I allowed to happen. I was way too young to recognize what was going on back then, but now I see it. And now I am in the position where I can undo the damage, but I'm doing it myself. It's not the person that did the damage or was insulting me will do something different. They will never. You might not even hear an apology ever in your life, maybe. But that's not what you should be aiming for, because then it's also about you relying on someone else. Self-empowerment always starts from you taking a stance for yourself and you being your own cheerleader and you becoming friends with who you are and bringing back all the parts of yourself. And this means becoming friends with your conscious mind and feeding your mind better thoughts, but also becoming friends with your subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind carries your emotions. So when you notice, okay, there is something going on, I don't feel good about myself, use it as a message. Maybe sit down for a moment and try to find out what's going on, why you're not feeling good about yourself. Because that's also something that's been planted into you. It's not how you were born. You didn't feel like that about yourself when you were a baby. Something on the way made you feel the exact way. So bringing back all these parts, the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, feeling at peace with your body, harmony within is essential for you feeling empowered and standing up for yourself and knowing what you want. And the very beautiful thing, it does not have to be something explosive or expressive to the outside. It's actually very subtle and very gentle and very kind within. When you are then allowing yourself to stand in your own power and to become your own advocate and cheer yourself on your own path and know that this is where you are happy, this is where you're meant to go, where you feel your purpose is. But as so often, the darkness doesn't like the light. And that's why maybe the demons of others were fighting your light. But you rediscovering this bright spark inside and allowing it to shine again and move forwards with that, fully present and embracing it. This is where real empowerment lies. Empowerment doesn't lie in putting others down. It does not even need to be in the interaction with others, as long as it's a normal interaction. Of course, when someone is making you feel bad about yourself, you need to draw your boundaries. But empowerment doesn't need to be loud, noisy, and out in the face, out in the open. It can also be very subtle and be something where you just notice, okay, that's who I am. That's where I want to be. That's where I want to go. But you really choosing that, deciding that for yourself, and also being fully aware that all the negative chatter, those are lies. It does not display one bit of truth at all, because that's not you. But instead, there's a core underneath that is truly you, that knows what is good to grow and where to move towards, what to develop. So yes, that's my message in regards to empowerment, because we so often forget that we actually hold the key to the door, and that it's not something that we're going to receive from the outside, or the outside might be generous enough to apologize for the BS they did to us, for screwing us over and mistreating us. They might even still believe that they had every right to do that, even though they hadn't. But you should not care about that. That's something where you have to completely cut off all the cords and make sure that they cannot pull your strings any longer, because your strings are now back. You are deciding, and you are not the puppet any longer where they can pull the strings, because you have dropped out of their game. You're not playing it. So yes, okay, that's from me for today. I just wanted to share that. I really hope you enjoyed it. So take good care and goodbye for now.